According to Pew Research, 40% of millennials are against freedom of speech. Of course, they would say that they're not against freedom of speech because they redefine certain speech as non-speech. And of course, that's not valid. We live right off campus at the university. This is one of the free papers that they give out on campus. Is free speech at risk? Now, I don't know about you, Tabitha, but my first thought is maybe this is a good story. Maybe this is like, hey, wait a minute. Are all these anti-free speech nut jobs gonna ruin everything? Maybe, we should think about this? And then we started reading the byline, under the headline, and it seems like, well, let's see here. We only glanced at it, but byline says, the University of Oregon is proposing a new policy regulating the time and place and manner of protests on campus. Although administration says this better enables free speech, students and faculty say the policy is limiting.
They only care about free speech when it's affecting them.
Right.
What kind of hypocrisy is that? Like, oh no, it's only mattering if it's me. Otherwise, fuck your free speech. Let's march and miss class and fuck around with our grades. Oh, it's okay because the school will support everything we do.
Right, and to a large extent, certain universities, University of Oregon is certainly one of them, they bend over backwards to the point where there are some of us who are involved in putting together, I'm trying to be involved in putting together a organization that does oversight of the biases of the bias response team, which is super fucking biased.
Yeah. These people down here are the reason free speech is going to be destroyed. These are the idiots
Fairly
that
communist.
will cost everybody their free speech in this country if they're not stopped. This mentality of, I get to tell you what to say because apparently my hair has been pulled too tight and my tampon's sitting wrong.
Right. Now,
Or I'm angry because, it wasn't Hillary the Killary who got elected. Or Bernie, the, turncoat didn't get elected. In fact, it was the Cheeto that got elected, so apparently I'm going to lose my fucking mind and destroy everything. These people are going to cost you all your rights, okay? Those people fought for your rights, okay? Fought for your rights, going to cost you your rights. Know the difference and fight against it.
Yeah. Now these two right here, they may have also been involved in the women's lib movement.
Yeah.
That could be what this is for. I'm not sure. The anti-war movement, perhaps the anti-nuke movement, etc. Good causes, not anti-freedom of speech.
Yeah,
now,
not anti-democratic elections. What do you want that, okay, we all cast votes, but, if y'all don't like it, you throw a bunch of trash cans around and now we just have to fucking conform to your mentality?
Right.
That's
now,
not okay.
Some of these protests have been, in fact, anti-free speech. They're protesting against freedom of speech. Now, some of these same people, I'm imagining, are now complaining that it's infringing upon their freedom of speech to tell them when and where they can and cannot protest freedom of speech itself, actually. You are infringing upon my freedom of speech if you're telling me that I can't protest against freedom of speech whenever and wherever I want to. Crowds of students rush into the streets of the University of Oregon, venting their frustration and chanting, "Fuck Donald Trump." Students said standing and yelling with peers was therapeutic in the face of an unclear future. Yeah, see, you're all pumped up with fear by the media, and you fucking fell for it. Students said standing and yelling with peers was therapeutic in the face of an unclear future. The demonstration was spontaneous, loud, and disruptive, and protected by the First Amendment free speech safeguards. Yes, it is, until you start infringing upon other people's rights, because your rights do fucking end where mine begin.
Exactly.
And so, you have no right to say, break the window of the school library. You have no right to, say, interrupt my fucking class. You don't have these rights, and you certainly do not have the right nor the ability to determine who actually is racist, sexist, neo-Nazi, Nazi, white supremacist bullshit. You do not know. You have demonstrated how unable you are to pick these things out. You can't tell your ass from your elbow. We've all seen it. So let's say they've gone after that, they've gone after the scientist, I forget his name, Matt something, saying he's sexist, wrong. They go after Stephen Colbert, oh, he's racist, Wrong. They go after Ellen DeGeneres. She's racist. Wrong. They go after JonTron. He's a Nazi. Wrong. They go after PewDiePie. He's a Nazi. Wrong. They go after Milo, say he's a white supremacist. Wrong. I mean, they just keep getting it wrong. So the point is, you people do not have the ability to decide, and you don't have the right to decide.
Yeah.
But, okay, getting back to the article, but if new rules being considered by University of Oregon administrators are adopted, outcries like the one on November 8th could be considered a violation of university policy. Well, you know what, people? Okay, freedom of speech doesn't mean you can just go anywhere and do anything. Okay, there is private property. There are other people who have just as much right as you do to be at certain places in certain times. And so the article goes on, and it offers points and counterpoints based on people's quotes as to whether or not this is a good thing, and etc. Now, I really don't know. I'm all about free speech to the point where I think you should have the freedom of speech to say that I don't. Now, I think that these students, or students like these, want to be students like these so bad that they're actually protesting in a manner, or protesting against things that these people actually fought for.
Yeah. That's how dumb they are.
Morons!
That's why I call it defiant
Imbeciles.
stupidity. Because they are being defiant, just like the other ones above the top there are being defiant. But those ones know what they're doing, the other ones have no fucking clue.
Yeah, these ones, they're concerned about babies, women, children, civilians being killed in Vietnam by US soldiers.
Yeah.
These people are concerned about taking away other people's rights. Apparently, everything that people who actually fought for social justice have gained in this country, you are now against.
Yeah.
You want segregated spaces on campus.
What the fuck is that?
You want to take away freedom of speech. Near the end of this article, we have UO General Counsel Kevin Reed saying, quote, "The only real restriction on expression activity are restrictions that are related to making sure that the campus can operate and engage in its daily activities of teaching and research and learning without unreasonable disruption," unquote. Now, in case you think that we've been strawmanning people here, well, first of all, it should be obvious that we're talking about people who are against freedom of speech, and not about people who aren't against freedom of speech. Secondly, as the Pew Research poll says, as of 2015, 40% of millennials are okay with limiting speech if it's offensive to minorities. You morons! I cannot wait until your children get old enough to rebel against your bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully repair all the damage you people are doing to the left, to liberalism, to liberty.
You
Morons! Any percent is far too high. Now, the other 60% of you millennials, you should grab the collective noses of the 40% and twist them all the way around. You should make them slide down a banister with sandpaper, while naked, into a pool of alcohol. You should make them watch marathons of Friends.
That's just mean.
This just in, of course, the censorship campaign continues. First Berkeley, now this. Dave Rubin's speech postponed indefinitely. Very likely because of what happened at Berkeley at the beginning of February 2017. I'm talking about the riot against freedom of speech. And this is just the latest, greatest in a very long string of no platforming and otherwise censoring people because of political correct bullshit and social justice warriors, who are really anti-social injustice warriors. And you see, it's working, folks. These people are winning. They are succeeding in taking away liberties. And as actual feminist, that is a person who actually believes in sexual equality, Christina Hoff Sommers tweeted out, Dave Rubin is about as civil and fair as they come. And so if they go after somebody like Dave Rubin, who are they not going to go after? The reason why they're going after Dave Rubin is not because he's right-wing, because he's not, but because he's actually willing to listen to people he disagrees with. And that threatens these millennials, the 40% who are against freedom of speech. In closing, I'm going to let Wolfie She Thinks She's Funny Wolfface have the last word. What do you gotta say? Oh, now you're quiet. You wanna complain?
Waka waka.